Hi, kenparkskate, and welcome in this new deep conversation video. If it is your first deep conversation video, it's a video where I take a subject, a thought, or an idea or a quote or whatever, and I talk about it and I share my opinions. And today, like the title say, it's what is the difference, or where are you between being an old teenager or a young adult? First of all, I'm going to read two different definitions of what is a teenager and what is an adult. So my first source will be Collins Dictionary, so it's well known, and the second one is Cambridge Dictionary. So when you go into that and you type being a teenager, in this case you have twice the same answer, which is a young person between 13 and 19 years old. So it will normally appear on the screen. A very fun fact and side story, if you are willing to search the same definition in French, so adolescent, which means teenager, which means exactly the same, every answer will be it's someone between 12 and 18, which is already fun. It's already kind of fun. Now I'm going to read the definition of being an adult. So first definition from Cambridge. Cambridge Dictionary is very short. It's a person or an animal that has grown his full size or strength. Okay, I can deal with that answer and that definition. Now the second one is way kind of funnier, and it's from, like I said, the Collins Dictionary. An adult is a mature, fully developed person. An adult has reached the age when they are legally responsible of their action. Which, from my opinion, the first sentence and the second sentence of the definition doesn't go together. I totally agree with the first sentence that mentioned that an adult is someone mature and fully developed. Okay, that's my idea of an adult. I totally agree with that. But the thing is that the adult have to be, I have the sense not properly in mind, but responsible of their act. The thing is that legally, in the eyes of the law, you are an adult at 18, which already is fun, because when you're a teenager, you're supposed to be a teenager until 19. So there are 2 years where you are in between something, like the title mentioned it, between the edge of being an old teenager and a young adult. Side story that might happen later, I don't agree also with that 2 years portion. Anyway, the thing is, at 18 is pretty young. You also have side story. This is the side story vlog. All those options and ideas are only to put in our Occidental culture, because it's a culture where we have the time to grow up, to fully grow up, and we are not, many of us are not speed up by the need of money, and the need of money, so the need of work, eat and have a roof. I hope at least that that's the job of our parents, at least until our 18 years old. Doesn't happen like that all the time, but that's the main idea. So where I wanted to head before is that I have a lot of friends that are 18, and it's not to bitch on them, but even when I was 18, calling myself an adult is the last thing I would imagine. Even now I'm 21 years old, and start to maybe potentially think that I'm a young adult, but that's for later on. Yeah, so you are stuck between a definition that, well, it is the term of the situation, technically you are an adult, and between who you really are. And I just realized that I didn't mention why I don't agree. Yes, in the eyes of the law, you are responsible of your act at 18, but I totally agree that for murder or all this horrible thing you are, because at 18, yeah, you're conscious of what you're doing. But when it comes to choosing your life path, or living by your own and working, this is something that takes more time to get in. And the thing where I don't agree, well, I think there's something between being a teenager and being an adult. It's something that is 3 to 4 years old, yeah, 3 to 4 years long, between actually you're 18 and 21. It's a moment where most of the people are students, actually, 3 to 5 years. So yeah, it goes above the limits, the borders that I just talked about, but just the mental thing, the way that happened, the thing that happened in your head, I think happened during 3 to 4 years. God damn, I cannot talk. 3 to 4 years, depending on the situation and on the experience that you have lived. And it's a moment where you cannot, I'm not sure that you can say, yeah, I'm still a teenager, because at least in the general opinion, a teenager is that 16 to 17, I want to say kid. Yeah, that is like unsure about anything and just think about college or his life without the whole money aspect, maybe even without the work aspect, and who, I don't know, who dream about prom night and is happy to have his driver license. That's my opinion of a teenager. And now, yeah, when I think about an adult, I don't know, my vision of it is automatically to think about that, or a 30 years old man that have his house or something, you know, you understand what I mean? Someone who really have proper project and who is already deep into life, actually. And during that moment between teenager and adults, I'm going to take the example of the student. You are living kind of by your own, probably with friends to split the rent. You still think about studying, you probably have a side job, by that I mean to gain money, but it's still not real life. It's still something a bit different, a bit, you know, with some borders, some protections maybe, and all that is really hard. Really, being a student is really hard. It's something I didn't do, I haven't done. I have a lot of friends who did it. My path was different. I finished school and I went to work, and it's also a way to learn, because you have that money aspect. I have the chance to still live by my parents for now, but yeah, you have that whole money aspect, fuel, insurance, saving for your projects. It's also a way to become an adult. That's the question, really. It's when did you reach the point where you can say, I'm becoming an adult? Because technically, also the definition from a teen is, you know, that turbulent kid who it's actually the transition between being a child and an adult. Because when you see the kind of steps of life, you can call it like that. You have being a baby, which is short. Most of the research I've done don't even count it. So it's being a child from 0 to 12 years old, 12 to 18 or 13 to 19 being a teenager, after that being an adult and being an old person, and being a teenager is the shortest step of the whole process of being a human, I guess. And it's a process, I mean a step that counts a lot of change, and yeah, it is totally hard, but I think that the process between becoming a teenager and an adult, which is shorter, is way harder. So the question, like I mentioned just before, is when did you reach the point where you can say, yeah, well, I at least feel it inside you, I'm becoming an adult. I haven't done research on that, I'm not gonna lie, and I just want to share my own opinion of this, because I don't feel like a teenager anymore, and I don't feel like an adult. I'm stuck in between, and the project I have a lot of projects, and I feel like my life projects are more adult project because it's very entrepreneur, or it has a lot of money in it. Anyway, other video. And I think, yeah, so the moment where you become an adult, it's the moment when you become actually wiser than a simple teenager, I will say, wiser and more mature. And you start doing stuff, you start creating or building project. Building is more probably the best word for that. So building project, whatever it is, founding family, buying a house, or putting money to build to create your own business, then you start to go from an old teen to a young adult. At least it's how I think it works. Now, like I said, I'm only 21 years old. I'm very young, I guess. And I would love actually to know your opinion about that, and how you live the whole process, and if you also believe that it exists something between being a teenager and an adult, a period, a moment of life that our friend internet doesn't talk about. And yeah, so the comment box is there for that. By the way, I really hope you liked this video. If you want to be a part of my community, my life journey, I do a lot of vlogs where I'm talking about a lot of stuff. Feel free to join me. Otherwise, see you very soon. Take